I'm gonna go to you quickly. How do you balance taking risks with regards to entrepreneurship without messing around with your business financial stability? You talk a lot about funding. So how do you take risks within a business without messing up the business's financial stability? I'm sure a lot of people want to go through that, especially after COVID.
The funny thing is, I started my business in COVID. But yeah, how do we manage this? So you essentially need to understand what are you taking that risk for, and is it a required risk? So you've got to do a calculation in your in your masterpiece, like, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how I need to get there. And then you got to look in between, is it really required? Because very often as a business or entrepreneur, we think, oh no, I want to be like that business and I want to be like this business, and automatically that becomes your risk. So you need to be calculated. You need to think, make calculated decisions. Am I spending this money and am I going to get a return on it? And if you're not, then don't. I always say no business is better than bad business. So you've got to be calculated in taking your risk. So you also got to look at, I'm getting this funding. What are you expecting from me? Because nothing comes for free these days. Every funding has a clause to it. Is it really realistic for me to take this and do this? And is it going to build my business? Or is it just going to be me paying X amount of money for so many years without any guarantee? So calculated risk and is very important.
Thank you so much for sharing. It leads me straight to asking about intuition, as we just talking about knowing, how to calculate. You need to calculate your risk. How are you able to be that intuitive? And what is your advice to women that are trying to do all of these things? Then how can we be actively and intentionally intuitive about the decisions we make as business women? How would we do that from your angle?
I like what Natanya said when she said nothing's for nothing. It's the same thing with being in touch with your intuition and your gut. When you are in a wrong space or when you are doing something wrong, something just below your belly button tells you get out. But we don't want to listen to it because it whispers. We listen to this one, the mental, the one that wants to make sense. No, but it's money. But she just said nothing goes for nothing. And if you are truly in touch with your intuition or your gut, during the day you'll be fine. At night she will come, remind you again. You'll keep on tossing and turning. And if you look back on the decisions that you've taken in your life, I'm sure some of us, if not all of us, there are times where we say we should have listened to her. She comes in I'm saying this because we are in a feminine space. She comes in simple terms like, you want to drive, but something just can't get you out of the house. You don't know where you put your key. You don't know what to close. And immediately when you pass there's just been an accident. It's the same thing in business. When you enter in that boardroom and something says, we can't shake on this deal, listen to it. Don't rush. There is that one that when it's yours, it will become. They'll call you. They'll search for you. They'll look around and they will find you. So let's not rush. Let's just try and listen to that. And also to strike that balance of intuition. Deal with your physique. Remember, in these 4 dimensions, you shouldn't have one dominating the other. When you you are suppressing one of them. And unfortunately for us, we always suppress the spirit because it's silent. So have your fasting days. Science will tell you that when you fast, you are building cells into your body. This body that you have is not the body that you had last year. Every day your cells are building. If you go without food for 24 to 48 hours, you are building new cells. The white cells are rejuvenating. Allow your body to do that. And as your body does that, just paint this picture for you. Your body is a system. Every day in this company, we are digesting. The brain is like, digest. Imagine when there's no food to digest and they are calling, we are digesting. The brain's like, no, we are not. The stomach is relaxed. Other parts are like, by the way, when last did we rejuvenate the skin? Can we build on that liver? By the way, the hair, we've been neglecting the hair because their whole function is not now on digestion. Which is why even when you gain weight as a woman, it goes in this area because it wants to protect the area that is busy in your life. Can you not? Okay, I'm just trying to make this as memorable as possible. So once you put a stop on, a pause, Yanna, on some of those things, you rebuild. As you rebuild, your brain also rebuilds. And as it rebuilds, your spirit is like, everything is calm. Can I come now? For those that are Christians will understand even from the scriptures that for him to connect with Father, he had to starve himself countless of times so that that spirit can come. But if the body is busy, it cannot be called. So if we can just be cautious of that and try to balance that and listen to that intuition. When it says it's not it, most of the times, if not all of the times, it's really not it. And what's yours will come to you.
What a beautiful message. I think a big round of applause for the ladies that are on the panel today. Big round of applause, guys. We've got so much insight. At this moment, I'd like to open the floor for questions. If there's anyone who's got any questions for any one of the ladies on the panel or myself, please show by a raise of hand so we can get a mic to you. You look like you have a question. Okay.
So
again with this. Ladies, I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I think the questions, what you asked them, they answered, and it was directly so, right? I appreciate the setting. As much as I asked the question, there was a reason for it. I'm going to ask the question differently so that we can understand, right? So you spoke about intentionality earlier on when I asked Francois the question. I don't think there's any room that we've ever gone into where as women we have not with intention set that atmosphere, because we are atmosphere givers, right? We understand. So the long end and short of it is I am an accredited life coach, internationally accredited. I'm also an author, but I also believe in supporting other people, right? What the result is when we do what we do and we don't listen to our gut and we don't have the conversations that we're having and we do not set intentionality and we do not allow the light to shine, we leave empty. And it's in spaces like this. So as much as I asked the question earlier on to Francois about the men, I wanted him to answer it because we've got the answers, right? Y'all are sitting in front of us having the answers. What sets us apart, and this is what I wanted to hear earlier on, is we do not need to be men in order to do business. There's a reason why we excel in everything that we do, because we do take the full physicality in before we set our intentions. We do pray about it. And the best part of it is we get to network about it. If that gut feeling is not there, we actually have a friend that we ask the questions to. How do you feel about that? Whether you're praying about it, whether you're asking questions about it. So for me, I'm really grateful for everything, and I'm grateful for the way you guys spoke. The question then is, how do you set the tone for after the fact, right? So remember, environment is extremely imperative for everything that we do. But we leave here tomorrow. Again, I get paid for speaking, right? But here's the thing. I don't believe in motivational speaking. Why? Because in an atmosphere like this, it's good. We are feeding off one another. Tomorrow morning comes and you're not in the room with me anymore. I'm trying to tell my spouse, my children, or whatever the case is, what has happened. The other person will look at you and be like, oh, then that must have been a nice idea. Tomorrow morning, we need to follow through. And it's the actionability that you spoke about earlier on, right? How do we then carry that through into the actionable items that is going to produce money, conversation, networking for 3 months to come if we're doing it now in terms of, what are we in April? So how do I collectively take what I'm sitting with now to produce something for me in September?
Who wants to take that one?
You want to take it?
Well, I guess both of us can take. Yeah, I
Okay,
think
let
so,
me
yeah.
take the other part. You'll take the other part. the one that we discussed in the car park. We knew she was gonna ask. Remember? We discussed this on Monday last week, didn't we? Pulling your leg.
I'm like, no. To win it, but I'm like, no, I'm not falling for that one.
So she was listening to her gut. So the way I'm going to respond to this is, there's this a beautiful lady that I would love to meet, and I know I'm going to meet her soon. So because I know I'm going to meet her soon, I try to be like her, so that when we meet, we don't miss each other. So after sessions like this, I try and picture how would she would like to dress by the time I meet her. How would she like to speak? What friends would she have? What car would she be driving? So remember, I'm preparing to meet her. So after sessions like this, every day, I prepare myself so that I meet her. And that is Lele in September.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I hope you caught that.
Yes, that's great. I also caught it, and I think the person who you were really answering directly, she caught it.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely caught it. And on top of that, you are a coach, and surely what you just asked. Now that I know that you're a coach, you're not asking for this, because you have the answer to this. Is that you living here? You have an idea. Your mind is going to 1,000 of places. And in you going to 1,000 of places, all of these ideas that you are currently in that space, you're in a creative space, you've just been injected with a lot of energy. Some of them will work, some of them might not work. Some of them are not feasible now and will be perhaps in September and all of that, right? Go and get yourself a coach. It's part of investing in yourself. If you're dealing with something spiritual, seek out a coach who will be able to guide, not tell you what to do, to guide you on where you need to go. If it's in business, look for a coach that speaks to that. If it's in life in general, or it's a mixture of all of it, look for somebody who has the ability to put everything and help you just navigate where you need to go to. Because we all need people who keep us accountable. Because all by ourselves, surely if you didn't have a friend that would nudge you, you wouldn't have made it here, because all the blankets are so nice and warm right now, right? So we need at times. I was telling somebody that Mpo is my podcast partner, and Mpo and I, our values are similar. But in how we execute, it's different. Our personalities are different, right? Let's go for it now, let's do. I am that person. Mpo is like, coach. She's the come to my storm. But also surely as she is the calm, sometimes she needs what? The storm. So I'm the storm in her calm. Look at the people that you surround yourself with, because it speaks into what you are trying to achieve. If it requires you
detaching with certain people because they don't speak to the Lele that you're trying to get to in September. Why are you still hanging around those people? Why? Because they're not going to get you there. And I love that she made that example about herself and not saying that I want to look like Mpolekong. There's only one me, ladies. If that is what you're looking for, you're never going to get to me. There's only one me. Just like there's only one you. You go figure yourself out. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. Listen to what your soul says. Listen to what the Spirit is saying so that you can align to whomever you need to be. Because we need you in the grand scheme of things. We are tired of not being contributed to. We also want a you to come and contribute to us. Right? Okay, I can talk about
What a powerful session. I think we've had such an amazing session with you ladies. I think we've all learned a lot. If there's anyone who has any contribution, remember, this is a conversation, it's not a dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
It's a conversation. If there's any more contributions, I'd really like to hear from at least one lady per table before we close this off to say what's happening. Unfortunately.
So let's talk on just say this is not the best perspective.
This is
We begin with one comment from each table. Because of time, I have to cut you guys off, unfortunately. But it's been lovely having you, beautiful people. Wrap it up, Langa, and then I have to continue. We have less than 10 minutes.
all I want to say is thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being intentional. And thank you so much for being attentive to what we're learning today. Remember, this is not the only sip to success that we're going to have. We're going to have so many more coming up. And quite frankly, I can't wait to see this community growing much bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you so much. A big round of applause to the panelists. And as I get off the stage, as I did say that there is a free consultation for whoever needs it with regards to brand strategy and marketing strategy. If you can find the gem, there's a QR code laying around somewhere. Just scan there, you'll find my website, and then you book yourself a free consultation with me.